three, and there's at least two here. Well, I never. Good. Good morning, everyone. Please turn to hymn number 435. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies. First. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrim feet whose turned in passion stress, a thoroughfare for freedom beat across the wilderness. America, America, God mankind every flaw. Confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in all. Oh, beautiful for patriotry that sees beyond the years. Thine alabaster cities clean, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Actually, the song I wanted was this.
Oh, whoops.
We'll sing this again. Okay, great. So thank you for showing on the 5th of July. At this point, let's have you all go to your classes.
Oh, and I'm teaching first. I actually have questions. Yeah, I'll set it up. Are you?
Okay, you can bring down the thing.
Are you in Jerusalem?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it's getting hot in here, but I turned off the heater.
Sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, you can stop the thing here. Or maybe it stops on its own.
It does, but let's raise it a little.
Okay.
All right. Have fun.
Okay, so I'm going to have you turn to John chapter 19, verse 17. John 19, 17. Okay, so I hope everyone enjoyed their 4th of July. And did anyone do anything different on their 4th of July? Okay, so I usually tradition, if I can, on the 4th of July, I go to the free band concert in the Golden Gate Park. Okay, so they have a band concert, and for those of you who are old enough to go to Giannini, like Sean, many years ago, there used to be in fact, Angelina actually had this person for a teacher. So Mr. Richards taught orchestra at Giannini, and usually every year at the Concourse Pavilion, the one next to the aquarium, they have a band concert, and usually Mr. Richards plays the sax or the clarinet or some instrument. So usually I'll see him there. And but then people like then there was a new teacher at AP Giannini, I think Mr. Heitman, and probably Dominique was the first student of that teacher after he transferred from Marina. Okay. So last year I went to the 4th of July fireworks at the Marina, and it was so windy. But the reason I went was, and it was so windy sitting there for 3 hours even before the show starts. I said, I can't do this anymore. This year I had really great plans. I was going to see the fireworks that shoots off the Golden Gate Bridge. Did anyone see that? Okay. So of course it was foggy, right? But if it was not foggy, I had my perfect plan. Did anyone here go to Washington High School? Okay, Arlene. So there's a great view of so I was going to drive on top of the Washington High School hill, and you can see the entire Golden Gate Bridge from there, or drive along if you go into the Presidio, traffic jam is really heavy. But when I looked, the clouds were so heavy. It's like, never mind, right? Okay. So let's read John 19, 17. And Jesus, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of the skull, which is called in Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him and 2 others with him on either side, one and Jesus in the midst. Okay. And let's read the other chapter, chapter 20, verse 11. Okay. So we're talking about clues on where Jesus was crucified, and if we can find that today in Jerusalem. So, but Mary stood outside of the sepulchre weeping, and as she wept, she stooped down and looked into the sepulchre, seeing 2 angels in white sitting, the one at the head and the other at the feet, where the body of Christ was laid. And they said unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? And she said unto them, Because they have taken away my Lord, and I know not where they have laid him. And when she had said thus, she turned herself back and saw Jesus standing, and knew not that it was Jesus. And Jesus said unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? Whom seekest thou? And she, supposing him to be a gardener, said unto him, Sir, if thou have borne him hence, tell me where thou hast laid him, that I will take him away. And Jesus said unto her, Mary, and she turned herself and said unto him, Rabboni, which is Master. Okay. So let's bow forward to prayer. Dear God, we want to thank you that we can celebrate the 250th anniversary of the birth of America. Please be with us as we cover this material, and also later on our lunch celebration. We want to thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so I just want to know how many heard what I said the last time So how many here saw my slideshow the last time of what I think is where Jesus was crucified? So if no one saw it, then I can go slowly. Did anyone see the slideshow of where I think Jesus most likely is crucified? Okay, good. So we will go through this. I don't want to bore you. Do you see it? Okay. Okay, so let's, you don't have to turn off the lights yet, but we need to turn that on. It takes about 5 minutes. So, you know, I think everyone here eventually might go to Israel. So I'm curious, how many here might go to Israel one day? Okay, nobody. Okay. How many here have been to or might go to Disney World? Okay, what, you guys have been to Disney World? Okay, all 4 of them? Okay, did you go to all 3 Universal parks? 2 of them? Yeah, okay. I only been to 2, and maybe I'll ask Kevin. Hey, Kevin, have you been to Disney World?
Yes.
All 4?
Which one? Florida?
All 4 parks, yeah,
Or
in Orlando.
3 is Cat Center, Animal Kingdom.
Animal, Disney, Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
And you've been to all 3 Universals? Just 2?
Just want to know that.
No. Okay, so the reason I said it is, I said maybe someone in the audience one day might actually go to Israel. Were you one day going to go to Israel in your lifetime? Okay. So did you see my slideshow last time on why I think the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is not the right spot? Okay, good. So,
You want the lights off?
yeah, we were waiting for this to warm up, but yes, thank you. You can turn it off now. Okay, so, so how well do you know this, the landmarks here? Like, do you know what this is? Okay, so this is the Dome of the Rock where the Muslims have their mosque on the Temple Mount. And this is the Temple Mount wall. The reason Jews pray, well, why do we go to this? Let's go to this one first. So when you visit Jerusalem, there's 4 quarters to visit. And most likely, you're going to visit the most popular one, the Christian quarter. And, I'll be honest, you're going to visit this area, the Jewish quarter. In the Jewish quarter, all the men are standing here praying against this wall. The reason they're praying against the wall is because the tabernacle used to be here before it was destroyed by the Romans. And in their mind, God lived in the tabernacle, so therefore God's presence touched this mount, and therefore this is the wall of the mount. Okay, they're not allowed to go into the mosque and pray, but maybe one day they'll do it, and there'll be a big war. So you'll be here, and you saw that picture I took, where you have the mosque, the gold mosque here, and the wall right there. Then you go, and this is a tunnel. Then you walk this tunnel to the this area. This is called the Via Dolorosa, meaning way of sorrow, where they said that Jesus had to carry the cross. Okay, and they'll say, oh yeah, this is where Jesus was whipped, and this is where. Then you come all the way down here to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, saying, oh yeah, this is where Jesus was crucified, and this is where Jesus is buried. Now, is there something wrong with that story right there? That Jesus is crucified and buried in the same location? Doesn't make sense, right? And does it make sense that they have a cemetery in the middle of a walled city? So what I'm saying is, yeah, I went here, and because I did it as part of a cruise, I didn't have a chance to walk out and find the so-called other site that's more biblical. So you just take it And the tour does a lot of things. Okay, it takes you the Garden of Gethsemane also. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So here's the aerial. So you can see the Temple Mount, right? And see the Jewish quarter right there where they pray right there. You walk through some tunnel, you're right here. And then eventually you'll end up at Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Okay, so you have the Armenian, which is Christian, the Muslim. And the Muslim is a big area actually, and the Jewish quarter, which is small. And next,
What's the scale in that area?
what?
What's the total,
This is called the Old Jerusalem.
yeah, but what's the square footage or miles, square miles?
I don't know what your question is. Can you come up here? I can't hear beyond the,
Oh, sorry, square mileage, like in the.
yeah, I don't know what the mileage is, okay. You want to go back? Let's go back, see if there's mileage. Okay, there it is. You got it memorized? Okay. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Okay, next slide. So next slide. Next slide. So I'm not going to talk about all the landmarks, but this is the Dome of the Rock, and this is the Wall of Jerusalem. And the Muslims put a cemetery here because they don't want Jesus to come back. Next slide. See that? They say that Jesus is supposed to go through the Golden Gate, okay, on a donkey. This time he'll come back on a horse. And this picture I took was from the Garden of Gethsemane because this looks like a garden, right? Okay, the Catholics claim this is the garden. It makes sense. You can see Jerusalem. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, next. So the Orthodox will have their garden, but it doesn't look like a garden. This one looks like a garden, and the trees are made of olives. And why do you think the trees here are made of olives? Because it is called the what? Mount of Olives. Yeah, okay, it's not called Mount of Oak, Mount of whatever. So therefore, it'd be logical that these are olive trees because it's called Mount of Olives. And these trees look hundreds of years old, but not 2,000 years old. Next slide. Okay, next slide. Okay, here's that view again. They think Jesus won't go by this because it will make him unclean. Well, think about it. If Jesus is unclean walking through here, why would they have a cemetery inside the city? It doesn't make sense, right? That means the whole city is unclean. Okay, so I'm saying that Jesus was crucified outside of the city because you got to do a place that's unclean. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. So this is the Temple Mount. Next slide. And we're going to walk through this tunnel. So you're going to walk through this tunnel. And by the way, if you stay in Jerusalem, you have several choices. You can stay in a modern hotel, or you can actually live inside the old Christian sector. I would recommend living in the Christian sector so if you can feel like what it feels like to be like Jesus. Okay, next slide. So here we are. That is the Dome of the Rock. We're going to walk through this tunnel to this side. Okay, next, 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 tunnel, next, 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 next. Okay, so Via Dolorosa, and they have signs saying, oh, this is where he fell, this is where he got whipped. Next slide. Next. So you notice this is uphill. Okay, so Jesus was walking uphill when he carried the cross. Next slide. Next slide. Next. And then we get to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. So they say Jesus was crucified up here, and then he was buried way down here. Okay, doesn't make sense. Okay, next slide. So this is from the top. Okay, next slide. And here's the top. Next slide. Next. And then you have to wait over an hour to go inside, to go down the chamber to see what Jesus is buried. And of course, I was part of a tour, and I don't have 1 to 2 hours to do this, so I never went inside. But we do have a slide of what it looks like inside, maybe. Next slide. Oh, we don't. Okay. So when you go, you take it. You can say, okay, I went to the fake tomb. Okay. So now I'm going to prove to you there's a real tomb. Okay. Next slide. So we're going to go outside of the city. Next slide. Oh yeah. By the way, this is, I think, the Armenian side. They claim this is the Temple of David or something. Okay. Palace of David. Next slide. And next slide. Oh. Okay, let's go all the way, let's fast forward all the way down to the bottom. We're not going to really fast forward. And we'll go backwards. So this is where they claim Jesus is Bethlehem. Okay, where? Yeah, go to that map right there. Okay, so yeah, go to this. Wait. The slide before. Okay, good. Now do you see this? The temple, right? Temple Mount, and then the Jewish Western Wall, and the Wall of Jerusalem, right? So what am I saying? I'm saying that Jesus had to walk out of it to be buried. And you notice they have a cemetery right there. So I'm saying Jesus walked out Herod's gate, and he was crucified, and he was buried. So what's the clue of where he was crucified? And let's go to, okay, so remember the landmarks, okay? Herod's gate, and it slants like that. Okay, next slide. See the slant? Okay, Solomon was a great ruler that took over the Middle East. He didn't kill all the Christians and Jews, so that's why he's a great man. So here's Solomon and Herod's gate. You see, so you walk out Herod's gate, and I think Jesus had to walk to where he was crucified. So let's look at John chapter 19, verse 17. And bearing his cross, he went forth into a place called the place of the skull, which is called in Hebrew Golgotha. Okay, so here we go. So that is a clue of where Jesus is buried. Crucified. So we're looking at this. We're saying, hey, look, there's a cemetery here. Let's explore this. At least it's out of the city. Next slide. Okay, so this is for Kevin or anyone else who's curious. Kevin, does this look like anything to you? The cemetery's up here. Does this look like anything to you? So, according to the Bible, where was Jesus crucified? You just read that verse. What did the verse say just now?
In that verse.
19, verse 17. You know, you guys should bring a Bible. It'd be much faster. Because if we tell young people to bring a Bible, we should set the example. So, do you have 19, verse 17? Can someone help Kevin?
Yeah, and he bearing his cross went forth.
So, what does it look like, the place he was crucified?
Skull.
Okay. Do you see it?
Oh, okay.
I would say this is better than the Church of the Holy Sepulchre.
Yeah.
So you have the eye and the nose, okay? And is it by chance there's a cemetery up there? Okay, next slide. Okay, so, they circled this in case you couldn't see it. But let's go back. Okay, here's another landmark. What are these? What is that? A bus. Let's go back. No, you're going forward. What are these? They're little lines. What do you think these little lines are? So when I go to Africa, they don't make maps of Africa. So I go to Google Maps and they print it, and they don't have street names either. So I walk with the Google map wherever I go to Africa or third world countries, so I don't get lost. but I'm always reading the aerial and looking at the roof of each building. I'll say, oh yeah, there's a parking lot here, parking lot. There's a building here. There's a park there. So does anyone want to help out, Kevin? What are these little lines?
Like bus terminal or
They're what?
bus terminal?
Yes, yeah, they're buses. Okay, so they're buses, and let's go forward again. What are these? Buses. Okay, so now we know where we are, right? Cemetery, bus. So I use Google Maps. I look for bus depots also. And next slide, without the bus. They figured out the bus ruins the picture. It doesn't. It helps, right? So I believe that Jesus was not crucified at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, but he was crucified at the area that looks like the skull. And why do you think they wrote down the skull unless it looks like a skull, right? And I believe that God preserves certain things so that if we really wanted to, we can find it. He didn't have the skull destroyed. Okay, next slide. Okay, so then within reach of the skull is the tomb. So let's go back a couple slides. 1, 2, again, for the map. Okay, so here we are. So he walks out this gate. He goes to the bus stop, right? And then he gets crucified here. And look, within walking distance, you have a garden tomb, right? So let's go back to that garden tomb picture. And Kevin, how do we know that the tomb was in a garden? Okay, so let's look at John chapter 20, verse 11. But Mary stood outside of the sepulchre, weeping, and she wept, and she stooped down, looking into the sepulchre. Let's fast forward. And verse 14. And when she had thus said, she turned herself back and saw Jesus standing, and knew not it was Jesus. And Jesus said unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? Whom seekest thou? And she, supposing him to be the gardener, said unto him, Sir, if thou hast borne him hence, tell me where thou hast laid him, that I may take him away. So what clue do we have, Kevin, that the tomb was in the garden?
Representing him as a gardener.
Yes, she thought he was a gardener. So if he could not be a gardener if there's no garden, right? So a lot of Christians. So I was in Cyprus talking to a pastor, and he lived in Jerusalem, and we were talking about, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre can't be correct. It has to be the garden tomb, and it has to be the skull, right? And is that my last slide?
Is that water falling down on the?
Yeah, the rare times it rains, I guess it does.
Yeah. That's good.
From the graveyard. Okay, so is that my last slide? Oh. Okay, this has nothing to do with it. So I went to Syria, and they have in the middle of this mosque this golden dome. In the golden dome, they have it's called the Sacred Scriptures. I assume that it was the Quran, right? No, it's the Bible. Shockingly, they have the Hebrew Old Testament, the Greek New Testament. They have the Bible in Aramaic, which is the Jesus of language. Also, they had in Syriac, in Coptic. And I said, do they have a Quran in there? No, they don't. Does this look like a mosque or looks like a church to you? So this is one of the few mosques that looks like a church to me. So, and inside I went, they actually had the shrine to John the Baptist. This is the most unusual mosque I've been to. And the mosque believes that they believe in Jesus because they named, see this tower right here? If you look really close, it's the Star of David. And they named it the Minaret of Jesus. They believe that Jesus is coming again. Even Americans don't believe in that. Okay, so, and of course, they believe Jesus is going to visit this mosque, so therefore I better visit this mosque, right? Okay, you guys, we're done. Okay, you can turn on the lights. Thanks. And someone can turn the blinds.
That's in a waterfall, where the wall, to water the garden, right?
Oh, yeah, that's what's so painful.